to live next to a place called Le Point Virgule in Paris years ago. And that's a place where you can just go any day and watch stand-up comedy. It became such a habit of mine, and I've become someone who looks and turns to stand-up comedy to increase my daily energy. I really came to think that doctors are saving lives, but comedians are also saving our lives because laughter is something that helps us look at the meaningless shit that's happening in our lives and have a laugh at it and lower the importance degree so that we can go back and be constructive again. And so I'm someone who loves people like Eliza Schlesinger, Chris D'Elia, Trevor Noah. And so comedy for me, it comes in many, many shapes and forms. And the more you watch, the more you develop a capacity to know what type you like the most. I love lots of different types. For instance, in France, I love Blanche Gardin, who is really different compared to the other names I just mentioned. But I guess the one point that is really important for me is all the human insights that you can get out of comedy. Because for me, a good stand-up comedian comes on stage and has these observations, whether true or false or fictional, but they observed some human truths and they're telling them as their own stories, and you're laughing there because you're like, oh my god, I do that too, or you're like, oh, I can't believe they do that. But it's about human connection at the end of the day. And I think that donating these human stories is so important. It is so empowering because it helps us see the alternatives of how people behave and have a deeper understanding and laugh at it and make everything much more acceptable. We can forgive ourselves for being imperfect, we can understand others better. And so although of course we should just be able to laugh for a laugh and not go there thinking, this is going to be a peace building moment for me. But it does open our chakras, doesn't it? And so I think I have the same relationship with memoirs because, of course, memoirs are not always as light and fun and funny. But I loved Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I'm loving these days listening to Born a Crime from Trevor Noah. And this became, through time, my favorite type, like genre of book, because I'm listening to these exciting true stories and going through their emotions with the people telling their life stories and learning with them and reaching those learnings that they're sharing with us. And I think donating our humane stories, the truest, the toughest, the hardest parts of our stories, is a huge gift we can do to the world, because that's where our ego breaks a little bit, and that's where we're opening up and showing that, okay, being imperfect is how this thing works. This is how we learn together, how we come together, how we are natural, how we're humans, and it is so inspiring. Of course, stories are always designs. The way we choose to tell something, sometimes, of course, we need to also protect ourselves. We're sharing the bits that we're ready to share. There may be sometimes some editing over it because let's not forget that editing and publishing and all of these are economical industries. But still, I think if while we're listening, reading, watching, we have that filter, that aim of being inspired and learning and taking out something that will empower our own existence and connect us to others in meaningful ways, then we can still do that. Then we can still see through the filters of the economic system, of design, and still be touched in our hearts and have a better day.